Hello and welcome to the second video of this 3 to 4 video series about the history of Formula 1. In this video, I will talk about Formula 1 from the 1970s to the end of the 1990s. The tracks also became way more famous, including Monaco, so the Nürburgring, which has a special history in Formula 1 that we'll touch on today. There's also the different drivers: Niki Lauda, Ayrton Senna, Alain Prost, Michael Schumacher. We'll also talk about Iconic's team. Let's first talk about the different drivers. Niki Lauda was a Ferrari driver in the 1970s and held the team for multiple years. He also was able to join the team in a struggling state, which was able to make the team rise up again and win multiple championships. He became champion in 1975 and had a horrible crash at Nürburgring in 1976. Alain Prost, one of the greatest French Formula 1 drivers. Alain Prost had a nickname which was the Professor. He was called that because of his smooth and calculated driving style. Alain Prost won 4 World Drivers' Championships, the first being with McLaren in 1985. A very big rivalry, one of the biggest names in the sport, Ayrton Senna. Now I'm gonna talk about a driver that you've 100% heard before. Maybe you haven't heard about Ayrton Senna, but you've heard of Michael Schumacher. Michael Schumacher has currently 7 world titles to his name, but his debut was in the 1990s. He drove for Benetton and later Ferrari, as I said, in the 2000s, but had a comeback after retirement in 2010 with Mercedes alongside Nico Rosberg. He won his first championship in 1994 and in 1995. Now I'm going to talk about Ayrton Senna. You've also maybe heard of this name. One of the greatest to do it, best Brazilian driver ever. He drove for McLaren and Williams, known for his main driving abilities and his qualifying speed. Won 3 world championships, but tragic end at Imola in 1994. Now I'm gonna talk about the funnest innovations from the 1970s to the 1990s. These years were big years on innovation because no one really knew how to make their car faster outside of just adding aerodynamics and having a bigger engine. A big topic is the Brabham fan car. They used a big fan that was, like, when I say big fan, it's a big fan at the rear of the car to suck it to the ground to have better aerodynamics around corners. Even though we can think that this technology is so crazy, it is not new to motorsport because of Can-Am doing it a couple decades earlier. It's sure that this car would create some controversy because if you combine the best car with the best driver, it's impossible to keep up. As you can see, that car created a 34-second gap. Imagine seeing the car pass, waiting 34 seconds, and then the second car passed. You can imagine how dominant that car was for the only race it was ever able to race in because of it getting banged later. And it also lapped the entire grid, except the second person and third person. Now let's talk about the 6-wheeled F1 car. I'm gonna ask you a question. What do you think was the average number of wheels for a Grand Prix winner in 1976? You might say 4. It was 4.125 because of the Tyrrell P24, which was the first ever car to have 6 wheels in Formula 1. The engineers thought that because of their 4 wheels in the front, they would be able to have better connection to the floor and better cornering. He had his first win in the Swedish Grand Prix of 74. Now I'm going to talk about some of the tracks and some of the most iconic tracks that were during these times. A very iconic track was the Monaco Grand Prix. Still very iconic, has been on the calendar since day one. There's also the German Grand Prix where I talked about Niki Lauda having an almost fatal crash. The teams from the 1970s to the end of the 1990s, the most dominant teams consist of Ferrari, McLaren, and Williams. Ferrari in the 1970s were very dominant, but at the beginning of the decade, they were struggling because at the end of the 1960s, their main driver, second driver, and the team were struggling. They lost their first driver, so they had to redo their entire team in a couple of years to be able to be still dominant through the rest of the decade. The Ferrari 312B and the 312T became some of the most successful designs of this decade. Niki Lauda won the championship, as I said before, in '75, Ferrari's first title since 1964. Williams was a team very dominant in the 1990s, which does not reflect that nowadays with all the bad results that they've been having, even though they've been having a comeback recently. But the most important drivers I'm going to talk about from the Williams teams is going to be Nigel Mansell, Adam Prost, and Damon Hill. Some things that they were known for was the aerodynamics and active suspension. Active suspension being banned later on because of how effective it was. Williams was able to get reliable and powerful engines because of their Renault sponsorship. McLaren, 1980s. McLaren became one of the most dominant teams in the 1980s alongside Ferrari and Williams. Main drivers Niki Lauda, Alain Prost, and later on Ayrton Senna. The most iconic Formula 1 design from the McLaren were the MP4-1 in 1981, which were technologically advanced with carbon fiber chassis and turbocharged engines. Niki Lauda won the World Drivers' Championship in 1984 with McLaren, almost losing to his teammate. It's done, guys. Second video over. I'm gonna have a third one coming out in a month or two, talking about the 2000 to 2025 current year. There's a lot of rivalries, car developments, and a lot of dominance, especially in the 2000s, which I'm going to talk about, and also the 2010s. I'm not going to talk too much about it. I'm going to let you think about everything that's going to happen. Bye, guys. I also have to cite that this is for my personal project.